The future stars of the Mountain West have made it official, signing letters of intent to play college football as part of the class of 2018. Who may rise to the top of that class? That all remains to be seen, but it's a fun process to watch unfold over the coming years. To help us get a few on our radar, fresh off the heels of signing day 2018, we bring in our recruiting expert, Alan Trieu of 24/7 Sports. Before we jump into your top recruits for 2018, Alan, I want to take a look in our rearview mirror just a little bit. You have correctly identified some of the big-time players in the Mountain West before they have ever stepped foot on a Mountain West campus. Some of those include, back in 2014, you told us we should keep our eye on a guy named Rashad Penny out of Norwalk, California. All this guy did over the next 4 years was win Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Year 3 times, and then went on to win Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. He also led college football in rushing yards. A year later, you said Brett Rippon out of Spokane, Washington, who would be a difference maker at Boise State. As a 3-year starter, Rippon has been named All-Mountain West quarterback twice in his career and led the Broncos to the Mountain West Championship in 2017. Then in 2016, you said the Broncos offense would get a big boost from a couple of guys, including Alexander Madison out of San Bernardino, California, and Cedric Wilson, who is a junior college transfer out of Coffeyville Community College in Kansas. Madison, of course, rushed for over 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns in 2017, and Wilson went on to break Boise State's single-season record for most receiving yards, earning Las Vegas Bowl MVP honors. With that sort of track record, we once again ask you to break out that crystal ball and tell us who will be the major difference makers in the class of 2018. As we always do, we'll count them down from 5 to number 1. Let's start with number 5 on your Mountain West big board. He's a big part of Jay Norvell's second recruiting class at the University of Nevada, and he's out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, Josiah Bradley, he was a major get for that team. It was a huge pickup for them. He had offers from around the country, Arizona, Nebraska, Louisville, Washington State. He was the top defensive back in Arizona. But at 6 foot 190 pounds, sounds like he's going to move to linebacker at the next level, possibly be kind of a hybrid rover kind of guy. But for Nevada to go into Arizona, get a kid out of that good of a program that has those kind of offers, that's a major, major pickup for them right there.
Well, Alan, Bradley is a proven winner. He's a 4-time state champion who played both ways in high school, and just the type of player Norvell values in building his program in Reno.
We go forward and we look to recruit players. We want big, physical defensive linemen, and we want athletic, long linebackers that can run.
On to number 4 on your big board. Rocky Long signed a total of 24 players in this latest recruiting class at San Diego State, including a big wide receiver who played high school football in the Aztecs' backyard.
Yeah, J.R. Justice, 6'3", 200 pounds, very big physical kid. Out a lot of schools coming into San Diego to see him. So it wasn't an easy battle, even though he was right there in their backyard. Played both sides of the ball in college, or in high school, but we see him as a wide receiver at the next level. Elusive in the open field for a kid that big. Like I said, Louisville, Illinois, schools like that came all the way out to the West Coast to recruit him, but he ended up staying home and choosing the Aztecs. And I think at his size, he has a chance to possibly make an immediate impact, if not down the line.
Yeah, J.R. Justice has great athletics genes. He's the son of 3-time Major League All-Star David Justice. And oh, by the way, he also comes from the same high school as current Aztec Tariq Thompson, who was a freshman All-America last fall. And here's a guy who had offers from USC, Louisville, Tennessee, and Virginia Tech, but he's staying home to play for the Aztecs.
We're proud as a staff that we were able to attract so many local kids to stay here in town. There are some that would like to stay home that didn't think that the local school was either good enough or had a high enough profile or whatever to stay. And I think we've bridged that gap finally.
Number 3 on your Mountain West board is a guy who had some offers for some pretty big-time programs, including the defending national champion Alabama Crimson Tide. Anytime you're on the radar in Tuscaloosa, you must be good. But he's not going to the defending national champions. Instead, he's going to the defending Mountain West champions, Boise State Broncos.
Yeah, Tyneil Hopper, a kid who's a tight end, might play H-back at the next level. You know, there are a lot of Boise State guys on that look-back you've had. So not only have they had top recruits come in, they've developed those guys. Those guys have been successful up there. Yeah, like I said, H-back, they could motion him out of the backfield. He can play on the ball, catches a lot of, breaks a lot of tackles after he catches the ball. 17 offers in total. Syracuse, West Virginia, some schools like that. I think he's a versatile guy that they're going to be able to do a lot of different things with in that offense, but I see him making an impact as a blocker, pass catcher, and just a guy who can create some mismatches with.
Boise State has a huge void to fill at the tight end position with Jake Rowe now gone. Rowe was a huge contributor at the tight end position early in his Bronco career. This signing came as a big surprise to just about everybody in the recruiting world.
We think we got a tremendous steal and a great player, and also an even better person in Tyneil. And then we brought him up on this past Friday on a visit. Kind of, wasn't on social media, kept it quiet a little bit. He was a really highly recruited kid. He had a lot of schools going after him. We kind of wanted to keep it quiet under the radar a little bit. Sort of unique in this day and age to keep a recruitment like that quiet, especially on the last weekend of right before National Signing Day. But I think that was to our benefit.
Time for number 2, and they're doing incredible things when it comes to the football program at Colorado State in Fort Collins. Mike Bobo recruited kids from 12 different states here in 2018. Your number 2 recruit was the last signee in this current class of 2018 for Mike Bobo. He's a wide receiver out of California.
Yeah, I think they may have saved the best for last there with Nikko from Calabasas. Calabasas is a high school program that's produced a ton of top recruits over the last few years. So there are a ton of Division I schools coming in and out of his hallways. He had 21 offers in total. Purdue, Florida, Tennessee were some of the schools that offered. Played wide receiver and defensive back. Some schools recruit him as a safety. I think the chance to go out and play in that offense as a wide receiver was a big reason he chose Colorado State. He's a great athlete, can go up and get the football, but he's also very physical with that defensive background. So he's not only going to be a guy that can catch the ball, he's going to block. He's going to do a lot of the things that you need to do at that position.
15 of the 23 signees at Colorado State have been rated as 3-star prospects, so Mike Bobo certainly get it done on the recruiting trail, and one of those guys is Hall, who is one of 2 wide receivers headed to Fort Collins.
When they get here, it's not perception, it's real. This place is real, these people are real, and I think they're excited about being Rams.
Well, you need to be a great athlete to be the number 1 ranked recruit on your big board in the Mountain West, and this guy certainly is. He's headed to Boise State. He's a 4-star recruit and a heck of an athlete, joining Brian Harsin and company.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir from Vista Marietta out there in California. He's actually, according to our 24/7 Sports composite rankings, which compiles all of the rankings from the different recruiting sites, he's the only 4-star recruit coming into the conference. So big expectations for him. Was really good on the 7-on-7 circuit. Had a bunch of different offers: Arizona, Arizona State, Illinois. But Boise State was in this one for a long time, and their persistence paid off. He's a return man, does a lot of things in the open field. Very, very elusive. Even in 7-on-7, when it was 2-hand touch, they had a hard time getting him down. He's big enough to play defensive back, but I think, that elusiveness, that open field ability, I think he's a guy that you want the ball in his hands. So Boise has a lot of different options with him here. I lean a little bit towards wide receiver, but I wouldn't surprise me to see him in the return game as well.
The Boise State staff certainly agrees with you, Alan. This is one of the most creative offensive staffs in the country, and you can bet they'll find some way to get the ball in his hands.
He's a weapon. Khalil's a weapon, and they used him that way. He's a receiver for us, but he's a guy that you can put in the backfield. He's a guy you can give a fly sweep to. He's a guy you can snap the ball to. He's probably one of the most versatile guys that we have because he's done so many things, and he's got the right mindset. He is humble, he is hungry, he is focused, and he's a guy that's going to be able to do a lot of things, and I think he's a really intelligent football player.
To recap, Alan Trieu's top 5 signees in the Mountain West are Josiah Bradley, headed to the University of Nevada. San Diego State gets J.R. Justice at number 4. Tyneil Hopper is a tight end headed to Boise State. Nikko headed to Fort Collins to join Mike Bobo and the Colorado State Rams. And the number 1 recruit in the Mountain West, according to Alan Trieu of 24/7 Sports, is Khalil Shakir, headed to Boise State. Well, Alan, I always appreciate your insight. You're a true pros pro when it comes to the recruiting game. I really appreciate your time in what is a very busy time, no doubt, for you.
Always happy to be on, and thanks for having me.
That's Alan Trieu of 24/7 Sports. You can follow Alan Trieu on Twitter at Alan Trieu, ALLEN Trieu, TRIEU. By the way, you can watch coaches' press conferences and National Letter of Intent shows archived right now on the MW.com. This feature has been brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Mountain West. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.